Alright, so here's part 2 of that challenge, that Paul George or Kevin Durant challenge. And in this one I'm using Kevin Durant, trying to see how many points I could score with Kevin Durant. And remember, in the first 3 minutes of the game, I will not be scoring any points with Kevin Durant, because in the Paul George challenge, in the first 3 minutes, I did not score with Paul George at all, because I wasn't even starting the challenge till 3 minutes in to the game. So yeah, in the first 3 minutes I will not be doing that. I'll have the same signature skills as Paul George, and I actually don't have the same lineup, but I really don't think that matters. I don't have like Dimer on anybody or anything like that to help out the passing, and so yeah, so I don't think that matters at all. And yeah, so we'll just have to see how well I do with Kevin Durant. And yeah, I'm using the Rockets home court and the Rockets jerseys. And I guess since I was just playing road to playoff games, I guess I just changed this up and wanted to change my jerseys and just chose this and the home court of the Rockets. So yeah, and I didn't do that for, I didn't go with the Pacers jerseys for the Paul George part of this challenge. And I would have done with the Oklahoma City Thunder jerseys for Kevin Durant for this challenge, but I didn't do that either. But I don't think that's a huge deal. So yeah, and also one person commented before on the Paul George part of this challenge, why would you do these two? Like, you can't compare Paul George and Kevin Durant. They're totally different players. They play different positions. But yeah, you can compare these two because they are pretty similar. I mean, I know there's kind of a big difference in Kevin Durant's size and Paul George's size. Paul George is mainly more of a defensive player. That's what the guy said, at least in his comment. And Kevin Durant is just all about scoring and things like that. And yeah, I want to compare these two players. And I know Paul George is actually, he's not all about defense. He is a pretty good offensive player, but Kevin Durant, just by the stats in the previous seasons, has scored more points per game in the NBA than Paul George has. But Paul George, I mean, so, oh my goodness, nice rejection by Wilt Chamberlain. We got to see that again. That was a nice block by Wilt Chamberlain. But Paul George, he's definitely started really great this season already in the first few games. But yeah, last season, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the stats, but last season I'm pretty sure he was around like 25 points per game. But they are somewhat similar, and I feel like you can compare these two players, not based off the real NBA, but I'm really basing this challenge off of NBA 2K14 My Team because of my past experiences. I mean, especially in this current version of NBA 2K14, when I've used Paul George or Kevin Durant, I've even put Kevin Durant as shooting guard. I know that's not normal for Kevin Durant, but I've even done that. And just Paul George and Kevin Durant, Paul George has played also at the small forward position, and that's when Kevin Durant normally plays. But Paul George and Kevin Durant, they both are playing kind of similar positions in my team, not really in the NBA. They do pretty much the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say. They both, score really the same ways in my team. Both good, decent three-point shooters, good mid-range shooters, and they got a nice dunking and good finishing. I mean, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I wanted to challenge, is because they're both very similar in 2K14. Not really in the NBA. They're totally different players in the NBA. But in my team, just the opponents I've faced, and also in my experiences, Kevin Durant and Paul George, they just score similar. They have similar scoring styles. So that's why I'm going to compare these two players, because I feel that actually Paul George has an 88 overall in this game, and Kevin Durant has a 94 overall. It's just, in my team, it just doesn't feel like Kevin Durant it feels like the opposite. It feels like Paul George has a 94 overall, and Kevin Durant's the guy that has an 88 overall. But maybe it's just me, maybe it's just, I mean, with Kevin Durant in this game, look at that right there. I don't know what's going on. I just really think that Kevin Durant should be making more of his shots. He's wide open. I mean, all green, wide open, and he should have made that shot. Maybe I should have drove more to the rim with Kevin Durant. As you can see, he is a great finisher. So yeah, make sure you guys, once again, leave a comment below with your challenge ideas. The next challenge I'll have is actually I'm combining 2 challenges, and I'm not really going to give that away. So you'll just have to see my next challenge video, and the one after that is score all my points with 1 player. That's a very difficult challenge. But make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I did score 44 points with Kevin Durant, but Paul George scored 55. And yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think Paul George is better encouraged in NBA 2K14 than Kevin Durant?